This is Grace. Pardon the way my camera's going. It's got to get a new mount, but I want to do a little video just to cover some of the backstory to the series I'm going to be writing on this channel. Now, I'm already written most of it, but I'm talking about make videos from the writing. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, this is annoying, but ooh, squirrel. Yeah, don't hit the squirrel. Anyway, I just want to give a little bit of background. Like I said, about this part of it's going to be about the county. Now, it's a fictional story, it's a fictional series, and this part's going to be part of a bigger series, even. In this, it's a fictional town, but it's not a fictional state. It's the state of Texas. It's where it's going to be located. You know, the fictional town of Victorson in Victorson County. And they're pretty much isolated from any place outside. You know, the town is surrounded by ranches, dude ranches, but they're still working ranches. And one of them is has an amusement park also, plus the dude ranch. But with it starts back in 2020 mainly. And what was going on, they decided that they were going to just basically lock down the whole county. It's a very wealthy county except for one part, somewhat two towns. One is on the northeastern side and the other one is on the southwestern side. And boy, this is annoying, I know. But anyway, the county had, you know, besides what was going on, what started then, they knew that they needed to do lockdowns, and they called them rolling lockdowns. But they also knew that there was some other trouble brewing, more than one thing. They had some people that just, over years, actually had started missing, and then they had a more recent one. And, yeah, that's when they said that something has to be done, and there's so much more to it, but, and they feared, there's also a place that's the real one, that the main one that isn't so wealthy. They have some characters living there. The town is actually called the Outlaws, but they have people that live there who even call themselves the Outcast, and they've been trying for many years to cause troubles for a group of people. It's a large group of people. Basically, they're all wealthy, and they're trying to basically they want to take over, and it's not going to happen. And they don't even know that the group is just called the original group members. Okay, the 2.0s, their kids they call themselves the 2.0s, and their kids call themselves iGen. And they basically are a bunch of computer people going back like around 30, 40 years. You know, some of them 30, some of them closer to 40. And working together, they were very wealthy. They invested a lot in various things there in the county and outside of it. Real smart. They do all kinds of jobs and so on and so forth. And so they're very wealthy. And the outlaws, I mean some of them are the outlaws, and the outcasts, they just want to take over. They think that somehow they're going to take over, which there really isn't a way for them to do so. But they became the outcasts because of this kind of thinking, and they were kicked out of the rest of the county. They could leave, go somewhere else, but they decided to go there. Okay, and that's a little bit of the background. Now the elders, when they realized they were the outcasts and those are the outlaws, they were really bumping it up. They were really getting bad, and they were afraid that they were going to start kidnapping people. And the elders that had lived on the XYZ ranch, that's where they were mainly located, they decided they're going to split them all up to all the other ranches. It's split up by interest and age groups, and they're supposed to be 70 years old and older. And those who wanted to do it, they lived there, and they basically ran the town. The elders basically ran the whole county, I meant. And as far as they, like I said, very wealthy. And they ran so many different things. But when they decided to split up, they also decided, they're going to have other people that were originally from the county come back in. So they're going to need more room, and each ranch has mansions and also, things like cabins and so forth. And they weren't going to. They're going to wait till everybody, all the guests had left, and they were just going to take over those and go from there. And now they did start with one exception because of what was going on. They needed, to have their own medical facilities on these ranches, and they already had, like one or two, depending on size. But they wanted to expand them, for, like I said, what was going on and still going on. By the time I'm making this, it's 2021, and they had an exception to it, was that there would be some who were aged 65 to 69, and they would go to the it's called Victor's World. It's an amusement park, but also a dude ranch that they would go there to live there. Plus the people who had special needs that were age 40 and older. They could, everybody had a choice if they wanted to do it or not. And all of them would be a part of the VW elders, the Victor's World. That's what it's called, the amusement park. Victor's World, and the ranch is Victor's World Ranch. Okay, VW Ranch. Whew, got all that? Once they got all, the various groups of elders got all split up over all these ranches that surround the whole county, on the outskirts. They got all of them situated, and it was a lot of work to do so. And each team, they all mainly stayed in the mansions on those ranches, which were usually used for people who were coming there for dude ranches. And so they stayed there, and then they had time. They decided what part of the county do they want to focus on. And like I said, they were divided into interests, but they weren't, there were people who were around the same age, and they had similar interests all around. Okay, but once they moved in, they decided on what part they wanted to take over. They're not really invasive or intrusive. They just run it, and that's how it's always been for them. It was been since it was founded, since the first settlers of the county. Going back eons practically, but they were always like that. And so these are people who grew up in that kind of culture, and they know that this is the culture, and they know that whenever they get older, they could be, possibly be part of this culture. So nobody really questioned it. And it was very wealthy, and they had a lot of benefits besides money. And so they really never questioned, it was part of their heritage, their upbringing, everything. So nobody complained. And when they, some of them, whenever, it depended on what was going on, some of them just signed contracts. And they got a lot of dividends because these were very good investors. And so many benefits, not just, like I just said, not just financial. But living there life was different, and it was better. The outside people thought it was too controlling, but to them, it was better. Okay, pardon I have my mask on, but it is what it is. But anyway, this is just stuff for me, really. For memory, if I can go back and listen to it, and, things are going to change anyway in it, because, I know how it goes. It might start off this way, but some things might need a little tweaking, to make it make more sense. And but really, the whole county is, like I said, it's basically run by the elders. But then there's this one group that is called the enforcement, and everything is called the something. Okay, pretty much, anything is called the whatever, like the radio station, the ABC elders. They go by A, B, C, D, E, F, like that. and that's what the ranches are called, where they're staying. And VW, because there's not a perfect three all the way. VW is Victor's World, because it's Victorson County. And but that's the Victorson World. Victor's World. VW, the VW Ranch, the VW Elders. The amusement park is for once 2020 started and everything was basically locked down and all that. They the only people who could go to the amusement park were people who were in the county. Okay, everything's funded by them. Not everything, but a pretty much good amount, and it's very wealthy investors, like I said, and they do everything by the law. They are not doing anything illegal, and people have choices if they want what they want to do. If they want to leave, they can leave. They don't hold anybody hostage, kind of thing, and. But the people living there know they got a lot of benefits by staying there. So, okay, yep, it's gonna fall down. It continue to fall down. Oh boy! But anyway, I had to go through that line. It took a while, but my camera got hot too. Of course, right now it's 91 degrees, and it's still summer, and here in Texas, so. Yesterday was the highest I saw was 104 with 117 heat index. So, anyway, where was I? But basically, some more of the details are going to come out, and I'll have to repeat some because each video is a new video. But this part is mainly about these three cousins, and they're in their 50s. They're all in their 50s, and two of them are sisters. And the other one is a cousin. They're all female, like I just said. And one of them, Donna, her little sect from the outlaws, and that the VW elders and the others there, and the police and so forth, they're trying to basically bust them to find out what's going on, but they're not telling them that, and they're moving them all in. Okay, to a town that's called Hippie Town. Okay, Hippie Town, and it was at one point a commune for. There's so much more detail. A commune, back in the '60s, and it went on from there. And at the time, now it's mainly polygamous and those who practice or those who practice polyamory. This can be different, but at the same time, there are two different things. But anyway, then it's all secret to they don't go telling people that kind of thing. But it's the ones that this story is about. These three cousins is they are not part of that. They are part of the outlaws and the outcasts, and not the cousin, the one cousin. Okay, but it's a story about these women and their cronies, or their, however you want to call them, minions, and so on and so forth. But I got to get to the first part of it, and like I said, there'll be details to come along, and details might change as the story evolves in my head. So, and on paper, and then on video. Some of them will be on PowerPoint, some won't. So, just depends. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Talk to you on another video.